Welcome to Alaska's Political Pipeline. I'm Rebecca Palsha. Today we spoke with Suzanne LaFrance about her upcoming term as the new mayor of Anchorage. How are you feeling going into the new job?
Excited.
What is day one priorities?
Yeah, well, there's a lot to do, but we've got so many wonderful opportunities ahead. And the most important thing right now is building a strong team and knowing too that working together is how we're going to make progress. And so first priority is to stabilize the municipality.
As far as shelters go, is the idea of the East Anchorage shelter not even a talker at this point?
Well, everything's on the table when it comes to problem solving and working together. And right now we are focused on ensuring, I'm fully committed to a year-round shelter plan and continuing those shelter operations, and also looking forward to fully engaging with the community and stakeholders about the future. One thing I can say is that a mass shelter is fully off the table.
How big do you see the year-round shelter?
Well, that'll certainly depend on the need and how those conversations and planning rolls out with stakeholders. We're just getting into the work right now, and again, there's a lot to do, but it'll really depend on building a strong team and working together to address those kinds of critical priorities.
As you sit here, there are several people, but in particular this area has been hampered and hurt by the homeless population. How do you feel about downtown at this point?
Yeah, I love downtown, and downtown, has always been a place where many of us, it's a point of pride where we take our visitors, and it's just such a critical part of our economic well-being as well. And I know there have been a lot of challenges, and right now people don't feel safe, whether they are, working here or wanting to come down and shop or just walk around. And so aligning the resources of the municipality with the needs of downtown to ensure public safety is really, really important.
Bronson has said that it is possible to abate the downtown area. Do you agree with that? Would those abatements continue this summer?
Well, certainly ensuring that we have safe and vibrant public spaces, and that includes downtown, is super important. I think it's also really important to look at the big picture, and that's, whatever the courts say, at the end of the day, people have to have a place to go, and we've got to get out of this reactionary crisis mode and take a big picture view with long-term goals about not just providing people a temporary emergency place to stay, but how do we connect them with services, and how do we really get at these root causes of homelessness?
I guess until we have the permanent shelter, do you see all these like kind of pop-up homeless areas remaining the same?
Well, that's certainly going to be part of the issue that our team will be tackling. And I don't want to see that. I know that's been an area where it's top of mind, and there are safety issues, there are issues people have raised about tourism and businesses. So certainly figuring out a way to ensure that people aren't camping and in those public spaces is part of the prioritization.
Bronson has said that his relationship with the Assembly was not great, especially at the beginning. Do you see your relationship inherently being different?
Well, first, I think it's really important to recognize that both branches of government have unique responsibilities and each has a different role. And together, we are both here to serve the people of Anchorage, and that there is that shared goal and shared values around that. I believe it's also really important to recognize that the Assembly includes 12 different people, and you're going to have a whole bunch of different ideas about what's the best way to represent, constituents, and what's, the best way to move forward as a community. And so it's a lot of relationship building and building trust and understanding what's important to each Assembly member and figuring out, how do we move together with as much collaboration, as much consensus. I mean, it's hard to get 100%, but I think you should always try. And treat each other with respect and openness and transparency. So I am seeking to build a productive relationship and one that focuses on serving our community.
The criticism has been that this could be just an assembly that has whatever it wants, whenever it wants, like a big government assembly.
Right.
What would you say to those people who feel that way?
Yeah, it's hard for me to imagine a scenario like that, and coming from the assembly and knowing too that within that group there's such divergent opinions. And so the idea that there's this like lockstep and rubber stamp, it's just not how it works.
So are you nervous for the first day of work?
Mostly I'm excited. There's certainly a lot to do, but part of that excitement too are the people who want to come back and work for the municipality, or not just come back, but the energy around people coming and helping to be part of the effort.
When you look around downtown, what do you think people coming here to visit are going to think?
Well, if they're here right now on this beautiful sunny day, I'm sure that they will love it because it's warm and there are flowers and everything just looks amazing and there's wonderful energy.
Are you concerned about what people think when they come to Alaska and they see the homeless population stationed around downtown?
Well, certainly it's a concern, not just for how things look, but safety all around, because homelessness is a public safety issue, and I have heard from a lot of business owners who are concerned about safety and concerned about presenting a very welcoming image to Anchorage in a way that everyone feels safe, and it highlights the vitality and the beauty of our city. So yes, it's a concern.
What do you hope the city looks like after your first 3 years?
Well, taking the temperature down and really instilling those values of collaboration and being nonpartisan and focusing on problem solving is a big part of the culture. We want to instill that, and respect, whether that's at City Hall or just with residents in general, and that's really important. Certainly we want to have a handle and get the finances in order. Stabilizing the municipality is critical, and that is expected to take a long time. There is a lot of work to do in that regard, and staffing up is also another really high priority, whether that's in the police department or the accounting staff.
And how do you do that?
Well, it comes back to having a really competent, dynamic team that has a problem-solving approach, that works in a collaborative way. How do we make it easier to find or keep good people? I mean, retention is the first thing you want to focus on, and then ensure that we're not losing good candidates because we don't have the kind of flexibility that you need to have in this job market, or we're not moving fast enough. So certainly bringing a dynamic, agile approach to HR is a big component in all this.
What are your thoughts on the police chief at this point? Is she staying, or are you hiring somebody new?
Yeah, public safety is so critical, and I view it as the most important function of local government. During this time in the transition, I am focused, my team is focused on building the most competent, highly qualified team we can, and how we can ensure that public safety is prioritized. I'm looking forward to sharing more about that and what that will look like in the coming weeks, and just knowing that public safety is so important, and I very much appreciate the service of every single law enforcement individual we have in the chief, and it's a tough job. And again, I do look forward to sharing more in the coming weeks.
Have you been speaking with Bianca Cross at all about the job?
Yeah, we had a really good conversation about issues in the police department, and some of what they're dealing with too. I mean, it's been a challenging time, and again, just very much appreciate the difficult nature of those jobs.
but can't say today if she keeps the job or not?
Well, we're still in that process of building out the team and ensuring that public safety has the proper attention and thoughtfulness to it and what that looks like. So in the coming weeks.
Thanks for listening to Alaska's Political Pipeline. Make sure to like us and follow us on Facebook and YouTube and all of our streaming services.